peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us. This is the Punch, Friday edition here. I trust your day has started off well. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and we're coming to you from Kenya's capital here in Nairobi. Before I hand us over to the Political Command Center, let me bring us up to date with the latest figures of COVID-19 in the country. So far, Kenya has reported cases of 149,219. The death toll is 2,424, and recovery so far is 99,580. And the total figures in Africa this morning right now standing at 4,396,924. The death toll in Africa is 117 and 59 cases. Recoveries is 3,921,675, and the global statistics have surpassed 139.7 million cases. So that is where we stand right now in line with COVID-19. Thank you so much, and I take us to the Political Command Center.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Good morning, all of you in Nairobi. Good morning, all of you in Kenya on the panel. Shoni Wesonga, Professor Jaradi Wanyari, Douglas Kirimi, Jamani Karanja. Good morning. Thank you very much. This is the Frontline Security Program. Thank you very much, together with the Punch. So in this program, we have combined them, Punch and the national, international, regional security. Today, viewers, Douglas, Professor Nyari, Jennifer Karanja, and the millions of viewers across the board, Sean Wesonga, my panelists, all of you, and Miriam in the studio. Time has come to call it a spade a spade. Time has come for us to be on the right side of history, to say we saw it coming and it has arrived. Time has come for us to lay our background, our backbone, our salvation, our energy on stopping this war that is coming in the Indian Ocean. Time has come for us to say whether we have neighbors or we have no neighbors, and we have animals, terrorists, a government that sponsors terrorism against other states. Time has come for people of IGAD to isolate themselves from the operations of this type of governance. Time has come again for the world to know that there's a threat to national, regional, and international peace in the region of East and Central Africa and the Horn of Africa. It is that we want to look at today in this security, Frontline Security Program, one of the flagships of Punchline Africa Television Online. We have done so, we have analyzed several events on security in this show. We have also done a lot of assaults. We have delivered tapes, videos. You go back on our show 4 years ago, we told you. We have said it on Nigeria, we said it on Cameroon, we said it on Central African Republic. We warned on Egypt having a war with Ethiopia. We talked about Asmara, too early to shake hands with the butcher of Asmara. We warned Dr. Abiy Ahmed that he will have consequences. The situation in Tigray is a genocide. They massacred, they killed, they slaughtered, they pumped bullets. They came with all types of ammunition. All what they stopped was a nuclear weapon to finish the entire Tigray people. Miriam and the panel, our show today. If you want to join this show, you're a security expert, you're a member of the intelligence system in Africa, whether in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Burkina Faso, West Africa, Niger, Mauritania, Mali, in Bamako, you are welcome. Our role is to say facts. Whether you are in Mozambique, President Nyusi and the security agencies facing the threat of a regional, national, and international threat in the Indian Ocean. The emergence of Al-Shabaab down in the southern hemisphere, below the Cape, the latitude of Capricorn, or within Capricorn, there is a war. I'll never go wrong. Cancer is upstairs in the Sahara, and the Capricorn is downstairs in the southern hemisphere. If I'm wrong, my age must be coming, and therefore I expect the younger men on this panel to advise me. But if I'm not wrong, you add another degree on me and give me another paper. The Capricorn is in the south, the Cancer is in the north. Yes. And that is, there is a war in Mozambique. There is a war in southern areas of Ruvuma, Nachingwea, southern parts of Madam Suluhu Hassan Kingdom of Tanzania. There is a war in the Horn of East Africa, perpetuated by Farimajo, Mohammed Cheese Farimajo, a man who has turned state machinery to cooperate with Al-Shabaab, a man who has recruited Al-Shabaab soldiers into the State House villa Somalia, incorporated them, embedded them in the Somali new army who will come again and slaughter Africans. Their aim is to create a circular movement around the Horn of Africa, to take the whole world at ransom. The world must wake up today. Oh yeah. The world must wake up today. Oh yeah. And see that if we allow Farimajo to take over the Horn of East Africa, our ships will not sail through to deliver British Empire goods, to deliver European metros goods to the east. Neither would the ships from the Chinese, Australia, and other places come into Europe. So our talk today is centered on the importance of the Horn of Africa. If you have a belligerent army, an ISIS statute ranging all the way from the Houthi across the Red Sea in Yemen, and then come affairs affecting Eritrea across. Then we have a regime in Sudan, which we don't know how it behaves, then we have a regime in the Horn of Africa in the called Somalia. We have a problem. A regime that is extending boundaries. A regime that wants to fight over boundaries that were demarcated in 1884 by Bismarck, when the same president was not even born. It was only my grandfather from the mother's side who was born, because the grandfather of my father's side was born in 1889. But my grandfather of my mother's side was born in 1882. And he died in 1978. What a great honor for Dr. Matsanga to touch his hand before he left. What a great honor for him to have waited for me to touch my hand before he departed. Go ye, granddad, but I got your hand. I am still here talking for Africa. So for Remaggio to come and tell us rubbish when he's manning one of the strategic points of the international trade, we must expose now. It is now or never. If we don't shout now, we shall regret it tomorrow. I want to take this opportunity to thank the panel. The hot spot is Somalia. The recent times in Somalia have shown the degree of not decisiveness. There is no decisiveness in which way forward on elections. There is no decision on what can we do with the boundary dispute. There is no solution of what shall we do about security. The appointment of security officials, former Al-Shabaab, who tortured, who maimed, who planned to kill people, has raised a lot of eyebrows for East Africans. I therefore call upon Miriam to give us a background on this national, regional, and international threat to peace in our region. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And before I do that, maybe I introduce our panel this morning. Javan Karanja from Nanyuki. Javan, a very good morning to you.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for having me on the panel. Good morning to our viewers, wherever they are watching us from. Thank you for having me on the panel once again.
All right, thank you so much. And we do have also Professor Jared Onyari. Prof, a very good morning to you. Okay, as we wait for Professor there to join, we do have Douglas Kirimi. Douglas, good morning.
Very good morning to you, Miriam Obutu, and also to Dr. David Matsanga from the Political Command Center in London, my friend Sean Wesonga and Javan Karanja. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, we do have also Daniel Wesonga or Sean Wesonga from Nairobi. Daniel, a very good morning to you. Nice to have you on the show today.
Yes, a very, very good morning, Miriam Obutu at our headquarters in Nairobi. A very good morning to Dr. Matsanga in the UK, London. My good friend Douglas Krimi Bundi and Javan Karanja, our viewers here in Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world. Good morning.
Okay. So the African Union, the European Union, together with other organizations, have expressed concern on the holding of delayed elections in Somalia. The unions, as well as the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, that is IGAD, and the United Nations, or UN, convened a virtual meeting to deliberate on the situation in Somalia and give guidance on the way forward. The four organizations have now urged Somali leaders to prioritize the national interests of Somalia and immediately return to dialogue to seek compromise on the outstanding issues issues and to ensure that no actions are taken that will undermine the stability of Somalia, which is critical to the maintenance of international peace and security. They reiterated that the 17th September agreement remains the most viable path towards holding of elections in the shortest delay possible, and urged the federal government and the federal member state leaders to review and validate the 16th February 2021 by Doha Technical Committee recommendations and seek agreement through compromise on any outstanding issues and necessary for rapid electoral implementation. So what essentially the United Nations, European Union, IGAD, and the African Union is telling Somalia, if you keep dragging this election, what you're not only causing an instability in Somalia, but things could get out of control and might get into other countries, because now it's not just a Somalia issue, but it can be it is critical to the maintenance of peace and stability internationally. Javan Karanja.
Thank you very much, Miriam, and for the conversation that we are having this morning on the issue of insecurity that we have in Somalia. One, I'll say that the government of the day in Somalia is not willing. It has no political goodwill to ensure that they stabilize the country or they have peace in their country, because, Miriam, in this unstable condition, that is when corrupt regimes have a channel to discover money, the public resources. They have a chance to engage in dubious corruption deals. They have a time to ruin or to ruin the minds of the citizens by them coming out then as saviors for the problems that they have created. That is what the president of the day in Somalia is riding on. Therefore, for this country to stabilize, Miriam, they need to have a credible election, and that credible election will be guaranteed by the commission that will be put in place. And this will also be influenced by those people who appoint these commissions. Therefore, I don't see the government of Farmajo or Farmajo himself willing to have a credible elections, because he wants to hang in power so that he can continue benefiting with the oil deals and the other corruption-related scandals within his realms of power. Therefore, I see the country not willing to have a good or credible elections in future. That is why Farmajo is taking us for a ride, is taking the people in East Africa and his country for a ride. And you remember last year, Miriam, they went for benchmarking to look how credibility in election means in Uganda. Therefore, when you look at this issue, you see that you cannot go to benchmark in a country where the election is chaos, the election is divisive, and the election is characterized by all forms of malpractices, and then you purport that in your country you do better than where you have learned the skills from. Therefore, I don't see anything good coming from this process. And if they happens to have elections and Farmajo being in control and having hands in the electoral commission that would be put in place, I don't see themselves, even the people of Somalia, guaranteeing themselves a credibility or fairness in the elections, because at the end of the day, due to the corruption, the outcome will favor the regime of Farmajo or whoever he wants, or the members who he wants, because they want to do away with the kind of representation that was kind of negotiated, but now they want to go for the direct vote. Therefore, I don't see any different, because at the end of the day, the corruption hands will have a say on who will get to this position. Therefore, unless the government and Farmajo himself steps out of power, or he is pushed out of power, that is when the people of Somalia can even think of having a credible elections, or that is when the people of East Africa or the people of Africa at large can stay in peace, because in the state of instability gives a good breeding ground for the Al-Shabaab. Therefore, even as a country, Kenya and the neighboring countries, we are not at peace when this country is unstable, because that is when we get more Al-Shabaab attacks, that is when we get more insecurity and terrorist attacks in the country, because the government is not willing or also to ensure that the issue of Al-Shabaab, the issue of terrorists is dealt with completely, because these are some of the people that are used to benefit the regime of Farmajo. Therefore, at the end of the day, Miriam, I'm not seeing anything good coming out of these processes at all, unless Farmajo is pushed out of power. And I don't think that is quite an easy job, because he has roots in every institution that is in the country. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Javan Karanja. And in case you're watching and you're wondering what we're talking about, Somalia's president has defiantly signed into law an extension of his mandate and that of his government as the United States and other threatened sanctions and warned of further instability in one of the world's most fragile countries. The standoff prolongs a month-long election crisis after the February national vote was delayed. Critics say President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed, or Farmajo's time in the office is over. The international community had objected to a mandate extension and warned that Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab extremist group could take advantage of the country's heightened political divisions. Are these concerns founded, Daniel Wesonga?
So, Miriam, it goes without saying that the government of Farmajo in Somalia, it is a bandit and illegitimate government as it is right now, because their mandate in office has expired, and Farmajo is just using his thorax and a few of his unscrupulous cronies to hold on to the power in Mogadishu. So therefore, apart from that, when you look beneath the veneer, Miriam, whatever powers that are helping him to cling into office is that he has amalgamated the Somali National Security Forces with Al-Shabaab. We've seen him appoint Al-Shabaab, former Al-Shabaab militiamen to senior government positions, something which is to worry the people who have been concerned about the peace and the stability of the country and of the region and even the global security system, because Al-Shabaab has been wreaking havoc on global citizens of different nations because of their incessant attacks, terrorist attacks, home and away. So, Miriam, I think that is something that really raises concern. And as it is, you've seen President Farmajo has been an aggressor in the region. He has been harboring a very legitimate ambitions of changing the demarcated boundaries. He has been having very cold ties with Kenya, who has been very, very instrumental in fostering peace and stability of the country. He has been siding with countries which have been saboteurs in the region, countries like Qatar, countries like Turkey, in actually propagating the agenda. And due to that partnership between Somalia and Qatar and Turkey and Qatar, we've seen a lot of instability in the region and even Somalia itself. I would say, in essence, Miriam, President Farmajo has really backtracked on the efforts and the track record that has been set by his predecessors. And that puts the country at the edge of a precipice. Somalia, as it is right now, could easily slide into another civil strife. And it's just a matter of days. I'm not a prophet, but I know whatever holds in the future is not good for Somalia. And the country might soon be plunged into another maybe coup or maybe a civil war. So it is upon people of Somalia to rise up against Farmajo, to tell him that his mandate has expired and he should cease office. Also, the regional partners and other international players should come in. And of course, the EU and America has already expressed their displeasure by this illegitimate elongation of a period in office. So I think, Miriam, it's only fair that President Farmajo and his cronies willingly resign from office. But if they do not do so, then their time is nigh. They're going to be expunged out of office, either by force or by negotiation, whichever way it will be. But I believe they cannot hold long onto power, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, Douglas, this political gamble, because I think this is what President Farmajo did here. What could be the possible impact, if at all, and what dangers does it pose not only to Somalia but to the region?
Thank you, Miriam, and thank you for that question. Mohamed Farmajo, the president of Somalia, like Sean Wesonga said, continues staying in power illegitimately. He runs an illegitimate government. The parliament itself actually, which led to the sacking of police commander, is an illegitimate government and also parliament. They were supposed to have gone to parliamentary and the presidential elections on 8th of February this year, 2021, but they didn't go to elections because Mohamed Farmajo and his Western Resource Grid allies have also wanted Mohamed Farmajo to continue staying in power, for them to continue holding Somalia ransom and use them as a proxy to be able to steal the oil resources in Indian Ocean for the people of Kenya. These Euro robbers and the and other people who continue using Mohamed Farmajo as a stooge would not want Mohamed Farmajo to leave power. Problems in Somalia, when you mention Farmajo, they think their sovereignty is protected by Mohamed Farmajo, and that is what Farmajo writes to them. But this resident of Minnesota in USA, we have seen this citizen of America, Mohamed Farmajo, continues obnobbing around and also moving and working with other foreign powers who are also not only interfering with the sovereignty of Somalia, they are interfering with the regional ambitions in terms of security infrastructure, in terms of mutual exchange, in terms of education, in terms of transport, and everything that the people of Somalia are to the region. And also remember, for them to be able to come where they are today, the people of Somalia have coexisted with their neighbors and also other nations for better of their own country and for the better of those other countries. Continued hold of power for Mohamed Farmajo continues posing a security threat to the people of Somalia and the people in the region, because even like Shona said, Mohamed Farmajo has infiltrated his own government with cabinet ministers who are Al-Shabaab, and also the police commander in Mogadishu today is a former commander in Al-Shabaab. So Miriam, for this Al-Shabaab, an extremistic group and a function of Al-Qaeda that continues wreaking havoc in terms of security in the region, bombing of various strategic assets of different countries in the region, and also in Somalia, this continues posing a threat to national security of the neighbors of Somalia, and this does not augur well for the region also. Remember, the regional strategic interest of every nation in this matrix matters a lot to each country. For example, the people of Kenya continue living under threat and the scourge of Al-Shabaab. They continue living under, they don't know when Al-Shabaab is going to strike again. And when Mohamed Farmajo continues holding into power, when Mohamed Farmajo continues denying the opposition in Somalia, denying the people of Somalia an opportunity to have a new government in Somalia, he continues posing a threat not only to us, even to America, even to Euro robbers who continue obnobbing and entertaining Mohamed Farmajo. Mohamed Farmajo has mutated into a very bad dictator that should be taken out of power immediately for us to be able to coexist as a nation and also to coexist as a region, because our regional ambitions are at stake, because this Mohamed Farmajo man has been able to grow on because of the money that he has been able to receive and support that he has been able to receive from Italy, from Turkey, from Qatari, and also from Norway. These are people, Euro robbers, who continue their quest to steal the Indian Ocean oil blocks that belong to the Republic of Kenya. And our neighbors in Somalia, in Ethiopia, are not safe. Remember, Mohamed Farmajo took over 400 soldiers in Tigray to go and die there. Young people who are not well trained died there. This poses a national threat to the people of Ethiopia and also to the integrity of Ethiopia as the headquarters of AU. You cannot be able to shepherd other people. You cannot be able to give AU a seat where they can be able to pass judgment in terms of security of other nations when your own region in Tigray, when your own country is posing a threat to them, to the people of Tigray and also to the people of region, using Somalia as a proxy and also using Somalia as an assistance. So Miriam, when you look at it, at the end of the day, Mohamed Farmajo is a bad omen for the region in terms of security, in terms of any shared ambition that the region has had over a million years, and also for the people of Somalia to be able to move forward. Mohamed Farmajo must go. For the people of Somalia to pacify their own country, for the over 400,000 refugees in our country, almost 500,000, they need to be able to take out Mohamed Farmajo, bring a better leadership, give a free and fair, credible elections in Somalia so that they can be able to bring about development and also better governance in Somalia, and not only for the benefit of Somali people, even for our own common ambition as a region. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Doctor, some residents there in Mogadishu and Somalia at large are looking at whatever happened last week there as a coup d'etat by a person who is power hungry, and they're wondering, Doctor, at what expense is this? What will be the cost of what you're seeing right now there happening in Somalia?
Thank you very much, Miriam. The only route I agree with Douglas and the panel, the only way left out is to take out. Militarily, we take out. We have to take out a jigger. If the jigger is in the food, don't cut the food. Go for the jigger. Go for those white eggs. I believe all of you have been infected by jiggers somewhere in the villages. I don't want to lie to you. My village had a jigger. I had jiggers in my feet. That's why I'm very bright. You know, when they eat you, they show you where to go. When you pluck them out, you don't cut the leg. That time, if I cut the leg, I will not be talking today. So Farimajo has become a jigger for this region. We must not cut the leg, which is Somalia. We must remove the jigger from the foot so that we can heal and pacify Somalia. Somalia needs pacification, Miriam. Somalia is our sister and a brother. Somalia is part and parcel of us. The Somalis have suffered for more than over 25 years. They have been scattered all over the whole world as refugees. They have become stateless. They have gone into countries where they did not want to go. We destroyed the country. America destroyed the country that was once a powerful nation, a Pan-African nation on this continent. America came and dismembered the state in that region. They killed, they supported, they dismembered Siad Barre. Siad Barre had coined Somalia into a state viable, a very vibrant state of Pan-Africanism. Somalia paid a great deal in the liberation of African and Southern Africa. Somalia played a great deal in the stabilization of the Great Lakes region and the national and the international and the regional peace. Somalia became the flagship of harmony, of customary values, of religious values. Somalia today has been reduced to a satellite state by the leadership in Mogadishu. The leadership in Mogadishu, headed by none other than President Mohamed Farimajo, has reduced Somalia to a tiny bomb that grows bigger every day. Therefore, the jigger that we see across, the jigger that is in Somalia, the infiltration of Al-Shabaab to its armpits, the infiltration, the destruction of this state called Somalia by Al-Shabaab terrorists, supported by the government of Eritrea and supported now by the government of Farimajo, is what we must pluck out. We must not turn a blind eye against the people of Somalia. The people of Somalia need liberation now. The people of Somalia need a way forward. The people of Somalia need peace. They need peace in order to bring about tranquility in the region. The people of Somalia need to be treated. They need engagement. They need food. They need medical care. They need education. They have suffered enough. They have suffered enough. From 1991, this state of Somalia has been used as a satellite state, an experimental state, from the Islamic courts back to warlords, from warlords back to clans, from clans back to Ethiopian invasion, from Ethiopian invasion back to sanity, from sanity it has turned out to be insanity by the government of Mogadishu, headed by none other than President Mohamed Farimajo. The direction in which this country is taking must be brought to the international community. Miriam, I submit that there is no other offer than the offer of peace. There is no other offer than the offer of tranquility. There is no other offer you can offer Somalis than stopping people killing them. There is no other offer we as Africans can give than giving a hand to pacify this region. There is no other offer we can give to our brothers in Somalia that we wipe out corruption. We install a government that has got peaceful ventures that can live within the African borders, not a government of people whose nationality is divided between America and Somalia. If you look at Farimajo's nationality, I have asked Farimajo several times to show us publicly a letter that deregistered his American passport. He has failed to do so. He has never shown us that letter that cancelled American passport. Farimajo just did it for symbol, as a symbol that he had returned or cancelled American passport. For you to cancel an American passport, you need a letter from the Home Department of Immigration in America. Can President Farimajo show Somalis that he cancelled his nationality? Is he working for Americans? Is he working for external agencies? Is he working for the people in Minnesota where he was born? Who is Farimajo? Can some Somali generals stand up, take this man out, or return him to America? He doesn't deserve to rule 1 inch of Somalia. Farimajo is a dual citizen of the country that is today negotiating with the Taliban. I want to bring you international peace. I want to bring you Chapter 7 of the United Nations Security Council. Article 39 and 40. It's very clear that Article 39 and 40 talks that if there is anything that is going to bring insecurity, a threat to peace, Farimajo has become a threat to peace. Farimajo needs to be tamed. Farimajo can create insecurity in the Horn of East Africa, where trading partners from Europe might not be able to pass the Horn of East Africa. And therefore, we warn the people in Europe, in the metros, that a war is building very slowly. A proxy war is being fought in the region, south of the Cancer, Tropic of Cancer, and within the Tropic of Capricorn. There is a war that is slowly building up. If we are not careful, 2 years to come, the entire Indian Ocean, we shall need a fleet of ships. We shall need a fleet of naval ships, huge fleets to escort our trading cargo, merchandise, imports, and exports outside the region, either from Europe or from Asia to Europe or to Africa. We are creating this state slowly. We have allowed fires. We have allowed Al-Shabaab to have a backbone where they strike us at will in Mogadishu and go back and stay in Eritrea. People have been asking, are they not visible? We have drones. Can't these drones sight one camp above these terrorists, blow them once? If we can manage this type of drones in Iraq, why are we not managing these drones in Somalia? Who is sitting on Somalia's insecurity situation to continue with insecurity? Who is gaining? I submit the following countries: Norway, France, Qatar, Turkey, America. Believe me or not, out of these countries, one country and 2 or 3 countries will tell you they are paying for all the troubles that Kenya has. If you don't believe me, you just need to go to the Kenyan case, maritime case in The Hague, and see the number of Norwegian white Norwegians, not Somalis, white Norwegians with briefcases and suits, fully booked hotels around Sheraton in The Hague. In all those hotels, they are booked, heavy Novo Hotel, everywhere, waiting to cut deals about the oil, the gas, the diamonds, the uranium, whatever chemicals, whatever minerals are available in Somalia. I looked at that situation and I said, I have never seen such a terrible situation. It is up to the people of Kenya and the region as such. It is up to Kenya as a member of Sub-Saharan leader in the United Nations Security Council to watch these signs, to feel these signs, to address these signs, to take these grievances across to the table of the United Nations Security Council. It is indeed, Miriam, my great honor and the honor of my people, of the region, as a Pan-African organization, and as a Pan-African myself, to submit that we do this for the good of the people of Somalia. Somalia needs peace. Somalia does not need a belligerent leader. Somalia needs peace, and that is what Somalis want. Most of the Somalis suffer. They are dying in huge numbers of undocumented COVID-1 numbers. The real numbers of Somalia are not documented because in some parts of Somalia, people have been denied medicine. People have been denied medical care because of the ravages of war. I therefore submit, Miriam, that is my position.
Okay. Doctor, thank you. So now we've seen after that move in Parliament last week extending President Farmajo's term with 2 years up to 2023, the United States and others have threatened sanctions and warned that the situation there may cause a lot of instability in Somalia and in the region. Are these threats of sanctions, Chief and Karanja, will they achieve anything?
Miriam, we need more than sanctions. We need more to be done. And I say they will not achieve much, bearing in mind that the unstable state in Somalia will continue taking shape unless they are talking of something where they can have a negotiations on the table and to push or pull Farmajo out of power. That what's happening.
All right, we apologize for that. A bit of a technical hitch there. When Karanja will be ready to continue with his submission, I shall go back to him. I'll just move on to Douglas Kirimi. The same question. The sanctions, should they be implemented? Because now they're just threatening. Will they achieve anything?
Yes, Miriam, maybe I'll just come in. Douglas is still setting up. Yeah, so Miriam, Dr. Matsanga has given a very, very impressive picture of what it is in Somalia. And you understand Somalia, geographically, it is at a very strategic point in terms of maritime business and all that. You know, most ships pass through the Somali territory of waters. And you understand that in early 2010, we had the problem of piracy, and this because the country was actually under the state of anarchy, and the leadership there wasn't able to combat the lawlessness that was seen in the Somali maritime space. And it took the effort of Kenya, the US, and other allied forces to be able to stamp out this kind of lawlessness. So therefore, when Farmajo actually tries to bring back Al-Shabaab and giving them a safe breeding ground, it tells you that this country, we again head back to the ugly past that we have tried to get rid of as a region. And that Farmajo is not willing actually to join forces with allied nations in the war against terrorism. I believe even the reason why we have Al-Shabaab and ISIL in northern Mozambique is because back at home, Al-Shabaab has been given a conducive environment to regroup and to be able to marshal up their forces and go and strike in places abroad like Mozambique. So therefore, for us to be able to kill two birds with one stone, to be able to quell the problem that we have in Mozambique, to be able to quell the problem of Al-Shabaab in Somalia, and be able to rescue Somalia itself from the path of destruction, we need more than sanctions. We need to get rid of President Farmajo, whether peacefully or by force. We need him and his cronies to exit the leadership in Mogadishu and allow the people of Somalia to elect a new president under a democratically supervised election. That will be the only way that we'll be able to achieve peace and stability in the region. Otherwise, Miriam, I'm seeing a situation where the country is headed to the dark past of 1991, or prior to, where the dictator who is Farmajo's uncle, Siad Barre, had taken the country at hostage, and that led to the loss of many livelihoods. It led to the loss of the country itself, Miriam. So to me, I think we have to do more than sanctions. US and other countries which mean well to the people of Somalia, they have to do more in terms of ensuring that the leadership of Farmajo is forced out of office and an election is put in place. Miriam, I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Javen, I don't know if you're able to speak now.
Yeah, I'm back. I had some technical hitches.
That's okay.
But now I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me say this, and I was making my contribution, and I was saying that we need more than sanctions. We need to sit down and see how the people of Somali can have a credible elections so that we can guarantee them a government that reflects their needs. Because the government that we have led by Farmajo doesn't reflect to the needs of the people of Somali, does not reflect to the needs of East African community, but is there reflecting and working for the needs of the external forces, is working for their personal interest, is there to ensure that we have a good breeding ground for terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab. That is why the government of the day is not determined to ensure that we fight terrorists, we have credibility in election, because this uncertainty, this form of unstableness is benefiting them because they're getting some allowances, they're making deals with the oil deals. Therefore, the government of Farmajo is not willing to have that kind of an election because, number two, Miriam, the Farmajo have used this issue of unstableness to come out and portray himself as a champion to the people of Somali. He comes out and pretends as a person who speaks to the people of Somali at heart. Because when we have the dispute, the maritime dispute between Kenya and Somali, what Farmajo is doing, he is whipping some sympathy from the people of Somali and pretending like he is saving them from being infiltrated by enemies, from infiltration by enemies. And that to me is Kenya. That is why he comes out and says that we must protect our boundaries, we must protect our oil resources from being used, from being taken away forcibly by these neighboring countries. Therefore, to some extent, he has been able to heap some sympathy from the people of Somali. Therefore, we need more than sanctions. We need a serious negotiation, and if possible, Farmajo should not extend his term. They must put a cap so that he does not extend his term. He does not bring people, his cronies, into power through dubious and through malpractices in the looming elections that will come at the fullness of time. Therefore, we need to do more, and the East African community, you should come in front and ensure that the people of Somalis have an election, goes for an election with a good and credible electoral mechanisms, electoral systems that will guarantee credibility, verification, verifiable votes, and so on. Therefore, a lot needs to be done. But in the current state, Miriam, Farmajo and his cronies, they are not willing to have a stable Somali. They are not willing to have a country that is stabilized, because they know if that happens, if that materializes, they will lose some deals, they will lose some benefits, they will lose some allowances. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Douglas, I trust that you're back. These sanctions that the US and others, international community, threatening to put on Somalia, what kind of impact will it have in the country, in the economy, in the people of Somalia? Because we know that, all right, Douglas is not there. They really help Somalia a lot with a lot of things. So if they sanction, we are going to have a problem there in Somalia. Doctor?
I didn't get the first part of your question because
the US and other international community, they have threatened to sanction Somalia. Will that perhaps, help in what kind of impact will it have in the country, knowing how much help they
Miriam, nothing.
They have nothing.
How do you Miriam, how do you sanction a state that does not function?
So they have nothing to lose.
Somalia is a pariah state. However much you sanction them, they don't understand. They don't know even what sanctions are. These people have funders. Let's just go and kill the funders. Kill one by one. Bring drones, bring everything. We kill them. Remove all these funders that are killing Somalis. Then you can have a state which is stable. Now, United States of America talks of its own citizen called Farimajo, who is protecting their interests of oil. Isn't it the same problem that is happening in Mozambique? Why, you asked one question last week, why doesn't the president of Mozambique want you Sadaka troops to enter Mozambique? Because he had sold oil already and the gas to Chevron and other companies. So, Miriam, we are dealing with a very dangerous situation here. Somalia, the Somalis are not worth sanctions because there is no state to sanction. Who will understand the English across there that there are sanctions? You are sanctioning an empty shell. Just clean Somalia, pacify it, bring in to people who have brains, then we can sanction. Otherwise, these threats, you are just punishing ordinary Somalis. I submit.
Okay, all right. And perhaps as we conclude, we know that AMISOM is still there really trying to help Somalia pacify, Al-Shabaab there, and they've been fighting together with the Somalis government forces there. So what is the future when things like this happen in a country like Somalia? So where does that leave, AMISOM, for instance, in this regard? Daniel?
Yes, Miriam, of course it is a very, very jeopardizing state, so to say, because in one way or another, AMISOM is there to ensure that they restore peace and stability to the country and be able to stamp out Al-Shabaab. On the other side, we have an unwilling Somali government, which by law is illegal into office, and actually it's working with the enemy in terms of sharing intelligence and actually incorporating former Al-Shabaab militiamen into government. So therefore, it really puts the lives of the thousands of AMISOM soldiers in Somalia at risk. It really puts the region at risk because as a region, we have had Al-Shabaab attacks in Uganda. We have had Al-Shabaab attacks in Kenya. We have had, right now we do have in Mozambique, some form of Al-Shabaab militiamen fighting in Cabo Delgado. So to me, it really degrades the progress that has been made by AMISOM. And therefore, it really puts the entire region at loggerheads with the regime in Somalia. So to me, I think, Miriam, AMISOM, the allied countries will have no option left other than pulling out out of Somalia, and that will mean that the citizens of Somalia will be the ones who will be subjected to live under the mercy of Al-Shabaab as it were before, the marauding terrorist group, which was actually harassing the citizens. But at the backdrop of this, Miriam, the AMISOM allied countries like Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, we have Ghana and all the other African countries which have their troops in Somalia, will have also to defend their sovereignty, their borders. That will mean that we will have to close the borders with Somalia and ensure that we do not have an inflow of refugees of maybe in our country. So to me, I think Somalia has to make very difficult decisions, whether it is willing to work with other allied nations to be able to fight the terrorist group Al-Shabaab, or does it want to work with Al-Shabaab for its own interests, personal interests, and at the peril of the people of Somalia. So to me, Miriam, bottom line is that the current unholy union between Al-Shabaab and the government of Somalia, it really puts the soldiers who are there in the name of AMISOM at jeopardy. And we cannot continue, even Kenya as a country, to risk our soldiers' lives in a foreign land, whereas the host country itself, which is at the need of having these soldiers there to help them combat Al-Shabaab, is actually going to bed with Somalia. So to me, it it will be a very tricky scenario, so to say. So I think we have either to do away with the government in Mogadishu, or we do away with AMISOM. In one way or another, the kind of working relations there will not stand if Mogadishu or under Farmajo continues to go in bed with Somalia, with Al-Shabaab.
Okay.
I submit.
Daniel Songa, thank you. And we've seen the international community, they are warning that Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab extremist group could take advantage of the country's heated political divisions. Ajeven Karanja, where does this leave AMISOM?
Miriam, I'll say, and I ride on what my friend Shona has already said, that this unstable state in Somalia, or this political intolerance that you have in the country, will put AMISOM in a very awkward situation, because one, they will give a chance that the Al-Shabaab and the other extremist group will take advantage of the situation and to pendle and to amplify their bad doings, to amplify their attacks. Therefore, it gives a more job, more task. It earns more task to already tired soldiers. Let me say that they added more duties to be alert, to keep on looking and doing surveillance, so that they know what might happen. Therefore, it puts them in a very situation of uncertainty and unpredictability, because they really don't know what might happen in future, what will happen if Al-Shabaab, and what are these groups planning. Therefore, it earns them more duties, it earns more distress to them, and I think that is not the best option this country have. They can, number two, Miriam, the host country is not giving them a good environment or a conducive environment where they can feel as if they are being human. But you see the mistreatment, the intimidation, and even the government of Somalia has gone to an extent of accusing the Kenyan soldiers of engaging in dubious charcoal business and the sugar business that is illegal. Therefore, when you look at this issue and when you look at the statements made by the government of Farmajo, you see a country that is not willing to ensure that they combine efforts to fight these menace completely. Therefore, it puts the AMISOM, these are political, and the recent moves that we have in Somalia, they put the AMISOMs in a very awkward situation, in a very situation that they cannot be able to deliver their duties as expected. Therefore, the options, Miriam, the government of Farmajo, they need to ensure that our soldiers feels at home. Our soldiers have all the requisite environment which can enable them to conduct their duties without interference. Therefore, at the end of the day, these soldiers might not deliver as expected. Therefore, the options that we have, and I think it will add some sense to them. If AMISOM pulls their soldiers out of Somalia, it might add some sense to the government of the day, or to the eyes, open the eyes of Farmajo, and see the situation, the dire situation that the ordinary citizens in Somalia are the danger that is facing them. Because maybe with these soldiers around, the government and them protecting the people of Somalia and them fighting the Al-Shabaab, the government might not be aware, or they might be ignorant on the dangers that the ordinary citizen faces when this kind of Al-Shabaab breeds. Therefore, it will be a good option, Miriam. If you are closing the Dadaab and the Kakuma refugee camps, it will be also wise if the AMISOM pulls out the soldier out of the Somali, then maybe the country will see the need to stabilize their nation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ajeven Karanja. Douglas Kirimi, can you hear me? Douglas?
Miriam, kindly ask me the question again, because I understand technical issues.
I understand. Okay, so we've seen the international community raising a lot of concern, and they're saying that the new situation right now, may provide Al-Shabaab extremist group an advantage because of this new heated political divisions, might provide Al-Shabaab advantage and take advantage of this and continue plunging the country into chaos. So I was just wondering, will this not complicate AMISOM's work there in Somalia?
Miriam, the issue in Somalia is a very simple and it's not a complex issue. The man himself, Mohamed Farmajo, is a sympathizer, a funder, and a man behind the Al-Shabaab and every havoc they have read into our nation. Miriam, what I explained, I don't understand there is an analyst even in Americas or even in Europe or anywhere would also give me a clear explanation why Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, popularly known as Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, why did they choose to have the commander of Al-Shabaab, a man trained in Turkey, as his own police commander? Is in his own cabinet, Mohamed Farmajo, as his cabinet members who are sympathizers and funders of Al-Shabaab, people who go to Asmara and pick uniforms for the Al-Shabaab, people who go and pick ammunition for Al-Shabaab. Miriam, this whole issue of Al-Shabaab, Mohamed Farmajo threatening us, or sympathizers of Mohamed Farmajo telling us that Al-Shabaab are going to take charge and are going to wreak havoc in their own country. It is Mohamed Farmajo that we should deal with. It is Mohamed Farmajo that we should take out. When we take out the greatest impediment to progress and a better tomorrow for the people of Somalia, Mohamed Farmajo, then we can be able to talk about Al-Shabaab. The only extremist that is funding and sympathizing with Al-Shabaab in Somalia is Mohamed Farmajo and his stooges at Avira, Somalia. The only simple thing is to take out Mohamed Farmajo as the president of Somalia, remove him from power, arrest these people, take them also, out also, who are also sympathizers of Al-Shabaab, who are ending by this government. The police commander, the police boss today in Mogadishu is an Al-Shabaab. Miriam, the whole issue around it, there is nothing that Al-Shabaab is going to do without the help of Mohamed Farmajo, his people at Avira, Somalia, and anything that is going to come out of there. I'm told that Mohamed Farmajo has not done anything without sharing his intelligence with Al-Shabaab, because Al-Shabaab are permitting his government, the police, and everywhere. So, Miriam, the issue in Somalia is not complex. Deal with Mohamed Farmajo, deal with his people in government, deal with the police commander who is an Al-Shabaab, and this issue of Al-Shabaab is going to come to an end. It has come a time when the Americas and also Europe and also the people of goodwill in all over East Africa come together and liberate the people of Somalia once and for all. For over 30 years, the region has been cooperating. Kenya, actually, Transparency International has been touting Kenya as one of the countries that has suffered the greatest human sacrifices in pacification of Somalia and also bringing peace in Somalia. One of the issues that we should be able to deal with is to deal with Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo. That is the greatest impediment to progress. He is an extremist himself. He is a man who sympathizes with Al-Shabaab, shares intelligence with them and everything. When AMISOM forces tries to go and bomb Al-Shabaab and exterminate them, Mohamed Farmajo will pick the intelligence and share it with Al-Shabaab. For us to be able to move the people of Somalia forward, for us to be able to cross Kakuma, the Dadaab refugee camps, over 400 refugees who should be building their nation, who should be becoming better citizens, who should become better president than Farmajo. Farmajo has taken Somalia where he wanted to. Now it is time for another man to come and take Somalia to the next level and pacify the peace of Somalia and return the refugees home. There are refugees all over, in Norway, in Qatar, in Turkey, everywhere. In Kenya, there are over 400,000. They should go back to their own country and be able to grow their own economy, Miriam. So the issue of Al-Shabaab taking advantage and also bringing havoc in Somalia, if there is no intelligence that they share with Al-Shabaab, if there is no one is funding Al-Shabaab, no one is giving them intelligence, nobody is giving them ammunition, nobody is giving them the uniforms that they use, what is going to happen to Al-Shabaab? The Al-Shabaab are going to be decimated and also be exterminated out of the face of Somalia. And that is what the people in the world want. That is what the people of goodwill want. That is what I want. But for us to be able to do that, for us to be able to pray for Somalia to move forward, for that years we have been praying and also crossing our hands for the people of Somalia to get back to their feet and also grow their own economy. Over the recent years, many things have happened in Somalia and the progress has been made for us to pacify that peace, for us to take Somalia forward, for us to be able to grow the economy of Somalia and also our shared ambitions as a region. We need to take out Mohamed Farmajo, his people in cabinet, and also the police commander who in Mogadishu, who is an Al-Shabaab Miriam, because the problem is not far away from where it's being mentioned from the mouth of Farmajo. He is the problem himself. He is the only person who has been going out there sharing intelligence with Al-Shabaab and sitting with an Al-Shabaab commander and a founder of Al-Shabaab in his own government, Miriam. So the issue here, the international community, America, Europe, should be able to take a cue and take out Mohamed Farmajo as president of Somalia. Because, Miriam, this is the greatest impediment to progress and a better tomorrow. For governance to be able to grow in Somalia, this is a man who continues holding onto an illegal office. If you ask the opposition, they are crying. Civil society are crying. Ordinary Somali people want peace. But the nephew of Siande Barre, who fell in 1991, don't want the people of Somalia to enjoy their own country. He is a selfish leader. He is a greedy leader. He is a bad type of a leader that should be taken out and for the people of Somalia to move forward. Thank you, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. And with the vote last week in Parliament, as I said there earlier, Farmajo, who the next election will happen in 2023, Doctor, between now and 2023, what should you expect coming from Somalia? As we conclude.
Thank you very much, Miriam. It's a very wide question as we conclude, because all these things we are setting a stage. We shall be talking more security-wise. What do we do between now and 2023 is to do exactly what Kirimi is saying. We take the guy out. We take the guy out. Me, you know what? I have seen one Kenyan man all the time writing about Somalia, but I don't want, he's my friend. And I've warned him quietly somehow that one of these days you will find yourself in very hot soup. I cannot write about a regime that I know is going to collapse. And I cannot write for a regime. That's why you see me, I stood up, I went, I saw, I conquered. Veni, Vicky, Veni, Vidi, Vicky. When I said the ICC was wrong, I never pressed my button back to say ICC is right. Up to today, you know that very well. If they take there my enemy, the nemesis called Museveni. And I want to tell Kirimi doesn't like to hear this at times. If they take Museveni to the ICC, despite what he has done against me, I will help him. Because I hate ICC. It's a bad institution for Africa. But if you want to take yourself there like Mr. Farimat, I will come and give you food at the Hague prison. Meanwhile, I go outside and shout for your release. Because I will just go and treat you as an African. People take themselves. Look at the situation, what Farmajo is getting into. Farmajo works with Efaki, Isaias, sends Somali troops into Tigray.